Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect hearing this word in truth and sincerity. Okay, so I just want to do a quick lesson, along the lines of the simplicity, in the Lord's power. And before you on the screen, I have the definition for simplicity. In the first column, it says one of the definition is straightforwardness. Ease, easiness, simpleness. Lack / absence of complication. So pretty much, Yahweh Shem Shai does things straightforward. And I bring this up because people in this world, part of that unbelief comes from, them wanting to see something, high and mighty. They want to see something, be done, with all power. And that's not to say, I'm not here to say that Yahweh Shem Shai can't do it. You can do it however you want to do it. But, there's accounts in the scriptures where the Lord does things which is pretty much straightforward, instructions on how to do things, and when you do it, boom, there you have your results. But people, they want to see things be done, with extraness, should I say, if that's the word, right? So in the third column, it says plainness, lack of absence of adornment. And what came to mind when I read that definition are the prophets, the men of the Lord, the true men of the Lord, because the men of the Lord, are pretty much men, normal men with garments going out and preaching the word of the Lord, man. And if you're not spiritual, you'll see that and say, them guys are bums. They don't got no life. They ain't doing nothing with their lives, because an unspiritual person cannot see the power of the Lord, working. They just see men out there, man. But if you're in the spirit, you can see that those are the prophets. Those are the men of the Lord going out there week in and week out, man, prophesying, preaching this word. It says, that's pretty much it in the definition part. I just want to get that to bring out the definition of simplicity for edification purposes for anybody that may have not known that word, But I want to start off with 1 Corinthians 1:27. It says, but the Most High have chosen the foolishness, the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. Foolish things in the world, things that will be deemed as, smart or intellectually high, things that people look to are for answers. The Lord confound these kind of things with lowly men, that probably didn't go to school and got a degree, a doctor's degree, master's degree, which in this world, getting those papers and those credentials is what qualifies a person as being, smart or wise. Where the Lord, don't operate like that. He'll take somebody that's deemed dumb, stupid, just so he can show his power through that individual. And when I say dumb, stupid, I'm talking about according to this world, because if, like I said, if you ain't got one of those credentials, one of those degrees, people in this world see you as unwise. Get a job. That's why you still work at McDonald's. You still working at Walmart, so on and so forth. But guess what? The Lord will use the men working at Walmart to pretty much confound somebody that graduated college, with good grades and, a good score on their test or whatever it may be. That's just the power of the Lord. The simplicity in his power. He don't need the great men to show his power. He'll use the lowly men. In verse 28, it says, and base things of the world and things which are despised. Things which are despised, man. Low men are the men of Yahweh Shem Shai are despised in this world. Yet these are the men that Yahweh Shem Shai are using, to preach this word unto his people. To wake his people up. Those of the elect, of course. It says, have the Most High chosen, yet in things which are not, to bring to naught things that are, Things that are esteemed high in this world. are things that are esteemed, mighty, smart. Well, the Lord confound these things with, men that are looked down upon, men, that are looked at as unwise. Okay, so I just want to get that to start the lesson off, because this account that I want to get, two more accounts that I want to get, is dealing with the simpleness in the Lord's power, the straightforwardness in Yahweh Shem Shai's power. Miracles being done, and they were not done, they were not done, complicated, doing things complicated. It was just straightforward, basic instructions. Now, of course, in the scriptures, there are parts in the scriptures, where men of the Lord did things, such as, Moses parting the Red Sea. He stretched forth his hand and the Red Sea parted. That was actually a major account, and when the Lord showed his power. But then you have other accounts where basic instructions were done, and pretty much, miracles happened through that. Matter of fact, if you want to say it like that, Moses parting the Red Sea, we can count that as, straightforward too. Stretch forth your hands and the Red Sea is going to part. That was pretty much straightforward instructions too, man. But once again, it was through that simple act that Yahweh Shem Shai showed his power, But 2 Kings 5:9, and this is dealing with the leprosy of Naaman, or pretty much Elisha gave him basic instructions on what to do, and he became rough because he was looking for something greater to be told in order to get healed. So it says, so Naaman came with his horses and with his chariot, and stood at the door of the house of Elisha. And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, go and wash in Jordan 7 times, which 7 is a number of completion. It represents completion. So go to Jordan and wash yourself a complete number of times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean. You see, pretty basic instructions, in order to get healed from your leprosy. But 11, it says, but Naaman was wroth, and went away, and said, behold, I thought he will surely come out to me, and stand and call on the name of the Lord, his power, and strike his hand over the place, and recover the leper. So he was looking to be told something extra than what Elisha pretty much told him. Call on the name of the Lord, strike his hand over the place, and he would be recovered. It says, are not Abana and Pharpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? Well, I'd rather have just gone to one of those rivers and I would have been healed. So pretty much, he's looking at it as a waste of time. I might as well have gone to Abana or Pharpar, and I would have been cured. It says, may I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in a rage. And his servants came near and spake unto him, and said, my father, if the prophet had bid thee to do some great thing, wouldest thou not have done it? How much rather then, when he said to thee, wash and be clean? Then went he down and dipped. See, showing you once again that, those instructions were not complicated. They were straightforward. He would have done it if, matter of fact, let me read that again. My father, if the prophet had bid thee to do some great thing, wouldest thou not have done it? So if he was told to do something great, he would have done it. But the fact that you were given basic instructions, it's too easy. It's too simple, and that's an example that, we see here with Jake, just an example that we see with Jake, and the truth is that, we were pretty much given basic instructions, within the ministry, just preach the word, every week, go out there, preach the word, and, just do that on a weekly basis, teach the people. Yahweh said, if you love me, feed my sheep. But Jake make it a thing of gimmicks. Jake make it a thing of making merchandise of the ministry, in order to draw Israelites in, rap music. These are all extra things that are really unnecessary, that really don't need to be done, but Jake do it anyway. Because, they think by doing so that they're helping, wake up the people of the Lord, which Yahweh Shem Shai could use those kind of those Israelites to spread the word, but the real waking up, the real work is being done through preaching, which is Pretty much simple, but a lot of people don't see it that way. You know, they see it as something greater got to be done to wake up the Lord's people. It says verse 14, then went he down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of the Most High, and his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. So through those basic simple, look, go out there, go in Jordan, okay, Salakia, go into Jordan, wash yourself 7 times, and you're gonna be clean. And lo and behold, he became clean. So pretty much that was one of the accounts that I had dealing with the simplicity of the Lord's power. The next account is, Exodus 15:22. It says, so Moses brought Israel from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur, and they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. And when they came to Marah, they could not drink of the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore the name of it was called Marah, and Marah pretty much means bitter. And that brings to mind, the root word in the word America. America means bitter. All right, Amar, or Amaraka, Amarago Vespucci, the elders, bring it out. But Marah or Mar is a root word in America, which means bitter. Okay. Verse 23, it says, and when Osalaki 24, and the people murmured against Moses, saying, what shall we drink? And he cried unto the Lord, and the Lord showed him a tree, which when he had cast into the waters were made sweet. There he made for them a statute and an ordinance, and there he proved them. So through the simple act of pretty much casting a tree into the bitter waters, it made it sweet. Pretty much straightforwardness of the Lord's power, man. And that got me thinking too that in the times of Jacob's trouble, when we're going to need the Lord to be with us in times of trouble, Yahweh Shem Shah may just give you, simple instructions on what to do, and you cannot, doubt the power of the Lord. You can't be looking for something extra to be done in order to be delivered, all right, in order to see a miracle, like Yahweh Shem Shah may very well say, hey, take that leaf and throw it into the water, and the water is going to be made sweet. You got to move with faith and believe that you throwing that leaf into the water is going to cure the water of the bitterness. You see, because a lot of people, once again, they're looking for something, high and mighty, something extra to be done in order to believe, that Yahweh Shem Shah's power, is down here with us, man. And once again, the men of the Lord, the prophets out there on the street corners preaching the word, that alone, is the Lord showing his power. That, because you got to think about it. It was a point in time to where we were getting our asses kicked, man. Nations looking down upon us. We had no might in our hands. But now you have men of the Lord raised up everywhere, preaching the word in the face of their oppressors. Esau, Edom, being told to his face, man. Esau here, what's being said. They're being told to their face that their kingdom is about to fall and they're going into captivity. The elites hear all this, man. But guess what? It's all being done through the simplicity and the power of the Lord, man. It wasn't done with any extras. It was pretty much done by preaching the word, man. And that's the point that I want to get across within this lesson right now, is that, the Lord shows his power in the most simple ways, man. It won't be in what you really think it, in what you think it would be. Looking for something, extra, superfluous. I want to get a quick scripture to end it off. This is Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 9. It says, verse 8, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. Right? Our ways are not, Yahweh Shem Shah don't think like we think. He's way above, our pay grade, so to speak. Verse 9, for as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. And all you gotta do is go outside and see how high the sky is. Well, metaphorically, that's how the Lord is saying, that's how high the Lord is saying his thoughts is to our thoughts, man. You know, so Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Until next time, I say shalom.